Hello there. Today I would like to introduce you to a new concept that is vectors. So, to get a better understanding of vectors, we would first need to understand what are physical quantities. So, anything that could be measured are physical quantities. Okay. So, time is a physical quantity, length is a physical quantity, mass is a physical quantity, temperature, and so on. So, these physical quantities are divided into two types. So the one is vector, and the other is scalar. So there are vector quantities and there are scalar quantities, okay, which make up the physical quantities. So I would first like to define it. I would first like to define vectors and scalars the way they are defined in most of the textbooks. So vector are defined as the quantities that have magnitude as well as direction plus direction, and they cannot be expressed by the magnitude alone, and scalar are quantities which can be represented by the magnitude alone, and they do not need the direction. Now, to get a better understanding, I would like to show an example. So suppose you are here. Okay, this is you. Okay, and at a distance there's another guy, another person that you may like. Okay, maybe a boy or a girl. Okay, so this ground is frictionless, meaning that you cannot get to this person. Let this person be B, and let this position be B, and this position be A. So you cannot get to B by yourself. You'll need an external force to act on you so that you could get towards this guy. Okay, so since this is frictionless, what you would do is call a friend of yours who is God, who has magical powers to levitate in air. So that guy comes in, and you tell him to give him some velocity, so that you just ask him to give you some velocity. So what does this guy do? He goes towards your right and pushes you and gives you some velocity, and you are disappointed because you are moving far away from that person. So you shout at him and say that, why did you push me far away from here? I told you to give some velocity so that I can reach towards this person. So so his reply was, you only told me you want some velocity. You did not tell me the direction in which you want to go. So that's why the direction is important as well, since there is no direction in scalar quantities such as mass, so we cannot set direction of mass. That would be very weird and absurd. So vectors are quantities having magnitude and direction. So vectors are represented with an arrow. Okay, so the more length this arrow has, the more magnitude the vector will have. And the arrow, since this too is a vector, but the direction of this and this are different. Okay, so even this thing is a vector, this thing is a vector. So this is how vectors are denoted. They are denoted by an arrow, and this part of the vector is called the arrowhead. Is called the head of the vector. Okay, not arrowhead. It is called the head of the vector, and this part, its ending, is called the tail. Okay, so when there suppose there are two vectors. This is vector A, and we write an arrow about the name of the vector, so that to show that it is a vector, or it would simply mean a line. So there is a vector A, and let's draw another vector that is parallel to vector A and equal in magnitude. So when they are parallel, it means that they are making zero angle between them and are pointing towards the same direction. So if this is vector B and they have the same magnitude and they are facing and they are pointing towards the same direction, we can deduce from that vector A equals to vector B, and the magnitudes will be equal. Okay, so whenever we say that vectors can be added, okay, when we add vectors, so it is not like if there's vector pointing in some direction and that vector is 5 units and there's another vector pointing in some other direction that is 2 units, you wouldn't just add up like 5 plus 2 equals 7. Okay, so suppose there's a vector, I'll do it in a different color. Suppose there's a vector A, okay, this is vector A, and there's another vector B, I'll do it in yellow, this is vector B. Okay, now we would define the angle between the vectors as the angle we get when we join the two tails of the vectors. So this is the angle we are getting, and this angle will be theta. We'll name it theta. Okay, so I forgot to write the vector B over here, so this is vector B. Okay, so when we add two vectors, suppose this is a mass of 1 kg and this is in free space, there is no gravitational any forces acting on it, and there is no gravity of course, and suppose suddenly I push it with a force of 1 Newton in this direction. Okay, magnitude of force equals to 1 direction, and it's along this direction, since I have represented it with an arrow. And suppose what my friend does, he also comes and says I will also push it, and he pushes it with a force of 2 newtons downwards. Okay, so what will be the path covered by this mass over here? It will go in positive direction, it will go towards the right, and as well as towards downwards. Okay, so the path covered will look something like this. It is a straight line. Let me do it with the line tool. The path covered will look something like this. So that's how vectors are added. Not actually, I was just giving you an idea that how would you imagine vectors getting added. So when you add two vectors, the resultant comes out by using the triangle rule. So if you know these two lines, if we rearrange them in such a way that the head of vector B is joined to the tail of vector A, that is, this is vector B that is joined to the tail of vector A. The head of vector B is joined to the tail of vector A. So this angle over here is theta, and I would draw this vector again over here, vector B. I'm sorry, vector B. Okay, so if we want to find the resultant, we arrange it in such a way that the head of the vector, head of some vector is joined to the tail of some vector, is joined to the tail of other vector that is included in the system. Okay, so if we want to find the resultant, that will be, so if we join these two vectors, we will get a third side. Okay, we will get a third side, and this side will be the resultant. this will be the side, okay, that this will be the resultant, okay, and it will be facing towards partly right, because the vector b is pointing completely towards right, and vector a is pointing partially towards right. So we'll get to these topics later when we will study resolution of vectors, okay. So I'll just erase this vector a, you might get confused. So we'll take this as vector c, we'll name this vector c, and this is vector a. So if we want to find the third side, you might recall the law of cosines. Law of cosines tells us that if there is some third side c, the length of the third side will be root of the first side a, the root of first side a squared, plus the root of second side b squared, minus 2ab cosine of the angle between them. So we'll take that as alpha. We don't want to get confused with theta. Okay, so this is the law of cosine. So if we are given any two sides of the triangle and the angle between that two sides, we can find the third side. So this angle, what will be this angle? Since this is a straight line, a straight line, okay. So what will be this angle? This angle will be 180 minus theta. Okay, this will be 180 minus theta. So if we want to find this angle, this side, okay, this side or this vector, or we cannot find the vector because that would require direction as well. So we would just find the magnitude of the third vector. So magnitude, if there's some vector a, the magnitude can be represented by adding two lines besides it, and we can also represent it as just a, okay. So if there are two vectors a and b, and if they add together, what does adding mean? That both of the what would be the resultant, what would be the direction, and what would be the magnitude of that resultant, okay, in which direction will it point. So if we want to find that out, we know what is the first side. That would be, we can take any of those. So we will take the first side as a. So magnitude of a magnitude of a. So the magnitude of this vector, the magnitude of vector c, will be the root of magnitude of vector a. I'm going to write the magnitude by simply writing an a. So the first side squared, that is a, the magnitude of a squared, plus the magnitude of vector b squared, minus 2 times ab, that is the first side, the magnitude of vector a, times the magnitude of vector b, times the cosine of the angle between them. Now angle between them, that is angle between them, when we solve for the resolution of vector, we take this as the angle. But in this case, we are viewing this as a triangle. So we'll use this angle 180 minus theta as the angle between them, okay. So that's alpha, okay, we'll name it alpha. This angle will be alpha, 180 minus theta. So that would give us cosine of 180 degrees minus theta, okay. I would extend the radical sign, yeah. So that just gives us the magnitude of the resultant. Alright, so in many textbooks or in some online videos, you might see that what they do is, if we want to find the magnitude of vector, if we want to find the magnitude of the resultant, what they do is they take the root of the magnitude of the first vector squared plus the magnitude of the second vector squared plus 2 times magnitude of the first vector plus, okay, plus, so magnitude of the 2 times magnitude of the first vector times the magnitude of the second vector times the cosine of theta. Okay, so we have theta, not alpha over here, or not 180 minus theta, it's just theta over here. So this one is equally valid and mean the same thing as this. So I would appreciate if you would to try out for yourself why these both are the same. Okay, so that's it for today, guys, and hope you like this video, and I'll be posting some further videos going deeper into the topics such as the resolution of vectors. I would explain that too, and a lot of example problems. So if you like this video, hit the like button, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.